I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Get me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here. Cheers.
Welcome back to We Talking About Sports. This is a recorded episode, not our normal lives, but you know how it is. Thursday nights we record, and by Friday morning we're out. We had a UFC this past weekend. One of the best boxers in the UFC, Max Holloway, versus Yair Rodriguez. And as you know, one hell of a fight, man. Max turned into a little bit of a Khabib. Took down Yair 3 times when you know Max likes to stand up. Roland, who's the best boxer in the UFC?
Shoot, the best boxer in the UFC, you know, typically I would side with Max because I'm a big Max homer. I'm a big Max fan here. I was excited watching the fight. I was saying when we were talking about UFC last week that with Max, I always kind of get nervous before his fights because I root for the guy so hard. I want to see him do good. But the best boxer in the UFC right now, to me, has got to be Peter Yan. I think he has a good defense, and it's nothing flashy, but he hits you with straight punches, and he connects. And when he connects, you feel it. And he takes clean, crisp shots, and he has a good defense with a good high guard. So, I mean, just based on what I see, I like Peter Yan a lot. I like Peter Yan.
Ben, who's the best boxer in the UFC?
The Diaz brothers. Who the fuck else, bro? What type of question is this? Nate Diaz is the best boxer in the UFC. It's just that they always take his ass down. But nah, man, hell of a fight this Saturday. You could say maybe arguably Max, like you said, calls himself the best boxer. You could say the best boxer against the best kickboxer because I think Yair Rodriguez stock went way up. It went way, way up.
Yes, sir.
I mean, even Dana White, somebody who hasn't been his biggest fan in the past, was there stroking him off in the post-fight presser, you know, pretty much saying both guys' stocks went up. Yair Rodriguez, now we could see why people do avoid fighting him. If, you know, his claims were true. There's always these claims with these guys that are unorthodox, throw these crazy stuff, or with wrestlers like Islam Makhachev. And we had heard Yair Rodriguez say that not a lot of people were taking fights against him. Max Holloway took this fight, and, you know, the odds were 5-6 to 1 in favor of Max Holloway. That was a 2-1 fight at most, bro.
I saw minus 750.
Yeah. I know after the fact, but it was a hell of a fight. I think that Max, the takedowns were just to secure rounds. I don't think that he was in any type of danger or trouble, but I think that the stand-up, I mean, for the most part, I thought it was pretty even. You know, Yair Rodriguez showed a bunch of pictures of his ankle, you know, all swelled up after, but, you know, for him, he stayed committed to those leg kicks, and it made Max switch stances. It made Max shoot takedowns. But, you know, Max has a hell of a poker face because he kept eating those leg kicks. I mean, it's crazy that wasn't pay-per-view. It's crazy that was on ESPN Plus.
For free.
That one fight made the whole card. Hell of a Saturday, and that kicked it off.
Ben, help me with this MMA history. Was Yair Rodriguez cut at some point? I don't know why I remember something around that he got cut and re-signed right away.
Yeah, he got cut. I mean, the guy hadn't fought in 2 years, so he sporadically gets in there. But it was when he was supposed to fight that other guy, man, that other Russian dude who was in that division and retired, Sharapov, or what was it? Magomed
Sharapov, yeah.
Yeah, him.
Right.
It was when they were supposed to fight, and nobody wanted to fight either of those guys. I think Sharapov had just beat Calvin Kattar, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they were supposed to fight. He ended up not wanting to take the fight, and that's when Dana White cut him. Like I said, Dana wasn't a big fan of the guy. But yeah, he could be a moneymaker. Just got to get him in there 2 to 3 times a year. You know, he went through that war, and who knows how long it's going to take him to recover, man. Those were vergazos.
Yeah, so I know the current featherweight champ, his name is eluding me right now, but he said that he doesn't believe Max can take Volkanovski. He doesn't believe that Max can take those shots much longer, that his chin will fade from being in those type of wars. Do you think that's possible with Max?
Ron, what do you think?
I think Justin didn't ask me who I thought the best
I was gonna
fighter
get to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I was gonna get
No,
to you.
I'm fucking with you. No, Dustin Poirier.
Hey,
I
not a
don't
bad
like
answer.
the guy. I don't care for the guy. He's beat McGregor, and I think I didn't like him because he fought a local guy. Who's Luke's trainer? Ben?
Yeah, he fought Diego Ferreira.
Yeah, he fought Diego Ferreira, and that
I
was
went
like
to that
Diego.
fight.
Yeah, it was Diego Ferreira's like first. Like, if he makes it, he fucking makes it, bro. You know, I mean, he was fighting Poirier, and look where Poirier's at now. So he lost, right? Diego loses. So ever since then, I've not liked Dustin Poirier. But as a boxer, bro, like his hands are fucking. His hands are solid. I mean, he's a bigger guy. He can knock people out. Look at what he did to McGregor. So boxing wise, I think that helped him a lot. You know, get to the top. So he's a good boxer, man.
And he has a win over Max Holloway as well, too, standing up.
With a lot of power, bro.
Yeah, with a lot of power. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I like that answer. That fight was at 145, right? That wasn't a 155 fight.
It was at 155. It's when Khabib had to pull out, I think, or Max went in on short notice for somebody. Yeah.
And coming from somebody who's like, I've been super busy. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the Max fight, even though it was free. I didn't watch it. Who do you guys think won the fight? Or was it clear enough? Like,
I thought Max
were the
won.
judges right?
Won.
It was challenging, though. It was challenging. You could tell Max was having trouble picking his shots at points just because of how unorthodox Yair is.
He took some heavy shots.
Yeah, and that's getting back to Justin's point about, Volkanovski saying that Max Holloway can't be taking any more shots like that or for much longer. But the crazy thing is he's going to fight Volkanovski next. If he doesn't win, if he loses for a third time against Volkanovski, albeit maybe we think they're 1-1, off the record officially.
2-0.
You could say 2-0, but the thing is, Max Holloway, his only move, if he does lose his next fight, is to move up to 155. Because what are you going to stay and do at 145? Everything's been done, and the shots are going to come harder, and it's going to be a lot more shots. The guys are bigger, but that's where the fight against McGregor, the rematch, possibly could be at 155. So for Volkanovski's point, I think that he needs to shut up about that because it's not like if he's landing shots, to put dents in Holloway's career. He's out there kickboxing and point fighting Holloway to victory. So, leave that shit to the guys who are actually banging Volkanovski, not fucking point fighting.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a very good point. I mean, he is 2-0, I mean, on the record against Max. But, to answer the question about his chin fading, I mean, at some point, it does go, right? I mean, you would think that it would happen. I thought it might have happened after that Poirier fight because that's what kind of scares me about him moving up to 155 is because we've already had a glimpse of him at 155, and that was against Poirier, and you can tell
Can you
that
imagine
he's overpowered.
him and Gaethje fighting, bro? Can you imagine that? My God.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You could tell that he was clearly overpowered by Poirier. Granted, he put Poirier in some spots too. I mean, Max he's a Hall of Fame fighter.
Because of his output, he's always going to be right in front of you. And then to that point, like, Yair didn't even drop him once. You know what I mean?
Nah.
It was a clear
win.
He
handle the shot at 145.
Yeah, exactly, at 145. It was a clear win for Holloway. And just, to close on this, unless you have anything else, but pretty much Holloway, what's next for him is Volkanovski, right? That's the only thing that makes sense.
And at 145, that's the only thing that'll make sense for him. Of course, the short list, if McGregor calls, you take the McGregor fight over Volkanovski because it's money. Yeah,
you pull the fucking George Masvidal and pull out with the fucking whatever stupid injury.
What it is, Ron.
With that doctor's note, because you just take the doctor's note from the little first stage spot at every corner. Hey,
is it the same doctor that gave Boomin his vaccine card or no?
I'm sure it's the same agent that's helping that happen.
That's funny. That broke today.
Let's get into some NFL this week, though. Let's talk about the game of the week. Chiefs and Cowboys, NFL game of the week. This is a 3:00 game.
Damn,
guys, why is this not on prime time? Why have they not flexed this to Sunday night?
I thought it was Sunday night. Shit.
It's 3:25 right now. Hopefully it gets flexed to Sunday night.
Who is the Sunday nighter? It's too late in the week to flex it at this point, but I actually thought that it was a Sunday night game, to be honest.
I had it remembered, but right now it is evading me who the Sunday night game. It's new Pittsburgh, Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steelers and Chargers.
That's a pretty trash
in LA.
I don't think they start flexing games until late in the season.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
at least it's
We're already week
it's
11, though. How much later? It's past the midpoint.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We're about there.
It's in Kansas City, so that means we get the Tony Romo calling the game too, right?
Nice.
CBS.
That'll
Yeah,
be good for
CBS
Cowboys
game.
fans. Yeah. But this is a big
And
game.
fuck
Big game
it. I
for
mean,
Cowboys.
even though it's not prime time, at least it's at 3. You know, wake up, fucking
Exactly.
wake up from the cruda, and then go get your michelada, and either start barbecuing or just get some badass Mexican tacos and kick back and watch the game, bro.
Huge game with huge implications for both teams.
For both teams. Let's get into that a little bit. Dak and Pat both ranked top 5 in pass yards per game and touchdowns. Guys, going into this game, who would you rather have? Dak Prescott or Patrick Mahomes on Sunday?
Give me Dak.
And I want Ben first because I know he's not on our side.
No, you don't want me because right before we went on, I got here late because I got here late from getting a haircut. But you said, "Hey Ben, do you want to run through the slides before we start?" And I was like, "Nah, let's just run it." Thank God, because I would have made you delete this bullshit, Justin. You are out of your mind, bro. I mean, I get the Dak love, the numbers are there and everything, but we're talking about Patrick Mahomes, bro. I get. Listen, y'all can go with your guy, go with Dak. Why wouldn't you? You're having a great season. He's playing well. You won without him, to be honest, too. So this is a no-brainer, Patrick Mahomes. But, now we can get on with the Cowboy Fest part of the podcast.
Before we do, I want to hear a reason, though. Is it Patrick Mahomes because his ceiling's higher? Patrick Mahomes because he's had a better season this far? His accomplishments,
it's his talent, it's everything.
Okay, watch. So we already know what
those are good
side
reasons.
Look, we already know what side you're on there. I would like to. I
We
besides
gotta
pregame warm-up drills.
do a little. What have you?
I
done
would
for me
like-
lately?
There we go, Roland. Let me hear it.
What have you done for me lately? And that's what we're talking
Mahomes
about here.
is
And that's
threw
what
for
we're
5
talking about.
touchdowns.
Going into this Sunday, what guy would you have? And I'd rather have Dak. I like his weapons. He's become accustomed to these guys. He's heating up with CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he's shown that he's probably one of the best quarterbacks against the blitz, probably per stats, everything else.
Because he got Zeke back there picking it up.
He's got Zeke in that running game. If you want to go off of the compliments of Patrick Mahomes, I'll give you that. I mean, I'm not going to argue that.
Bam, Tyreek Hill's better than anything you got.
For sure. But
Travis Kelce's better than everything you got.
All that they got. Travis Kelce's been struggling a little bit this year. They got back. They got back onto it last week. But we've already talked about the blueprint to stopping the Kansas City Chiefs, or the supposed blueprint that's out there. They didn't see that last week against the Chiefs. The Chiefs played them straight up. I mean, the Raiders played them straight up, played them man-to-man, no safety over the top. And what happened? Kelce and Tyreek Hill, they ate. Of course, they had a little throwback game. But what we've seen thus far is the Chiefs offense is struggling a little bit. And then when you put into the equation the fact that they have the worst defense in the NFL, they're going to be from behind. So give me Dak in this situation. I think he's going to have a better situation to deal with. He's playing fine football right now. Not making a lot of mistakes right now. I can go back to the bad games that Patrick Mahomes has had this year.
You said, what have you done for me lately? And this was a week
and
ago.
What happened last week? What happened last week against the Falcons? What happened last week against the Falcons? I can talk about 2 weeks ago for the Chiefs too. But
they never got shut up.
Okay, well, we want to go and nitpick like that. That's fine, but it's not a no-brainer like you like to call it. And this is not Cowboys love. It's just looking at the numbers and looking what's going on in front of me.
I like it. Ron, who are you starting? Who do you want to go with on Sunday?
Then
we'll give Ben a chance for a rebuttal.
¿Quién más? Dak, bro. Look, the only reason
this is what y'all were planning off camera.
No, it was not.
I told you could review them.
Just look at the way that the teams are playing, bro. Don't take a look at the quarterbacks. How are the Chiefs playing? I mean, yes, they're 6-4. They started off bad, but like as a team, not just Mahomes, everybody's struggling. The running game's kind of there, not there. Their passing game isn't this explosive offense like we have been seeing. And like Roland said, the defensive coordinators are getting used to what they're doing. With the Cowboys, we're actually ascending. We've had a shitty year. We've had a shitty year last year. We didn't have Dak. The year before that was crap too. So we're the team that's on the rise. So just not talking about quarterbacks, I would go with the quarterback whose team is on the rise and not with the quarterback whose team is kind of a little unpredictable this year. So, I mean, that's not sounding biased. That's just being truthful to where the season has been going. What I would like to hear is Ben's reaction to the question number 2 is who needs to make a bigger statement, Dak or Mahomes? Because we both agree, me and Roland here as Cowboy fans, that I would think Dak would need to make the bigger statement.
I think the bigger question is what team needs to make the bigger statement. Is it the Cowboys or is it the Chiefs? I think that's the bigger question.
Ron's been hanging out in Alton too much. City on the rise, team on the rise, Calmate on the rise, city on the grow, whatever it's called. Guys, what's the spread for the game?
2.5.
For whom?
For the Chiefs.
Oh, okay. Okay. So at least I'm on Vegas' side. Y'all can fanboy and homer on the Cowboys all y'all want, that they're the better team, they're this, they're that. Like the weapons, they don't match up. Dak has never won they don't match up, bro. Tyreek and Kelsey are just head and heels above what the best that the Cowboys have to offer. I mean, you're CeeDee Lamb, a second-year guy. You're going to put him up there with Tyreek Hill? Fine, you go ahead and do that.
Yeah, but the offenses aren't playing each other. You have the Cowboys against the Chiefs.
Good point, Ron. Good point. I want to hear more about that.
They're going up against a 32nd ranked defense.
Right.
You're telling me the Chiefs are going to stop what the Cowboys are going there?
I saw Teddy Bridgewater put up 40, so I don't know what the fuck Mahomes is going to do to y'all. He might put up 60. He's coming off 5 touchdowns and 400 yards. 5 touchdowns and 400 yards last week.
Ben, I'm gonna need more than the one game, Ben. Just one game, that's not enough.
What one game?
You keep alluding just to the Denver game, but we have a season of proof.
We were just on here a week ago, and y'all were like, "We got shut out by the damn Broncos." You were disgusted, and now you win one game.
And we also said that every team has had a stinker or two this year. The Chiefs have had more than one stinker. They've had
but you got to talk about a season of proof here. We're not just one game, though.
To who? To the Bills. They've had their stinkers to good teams. To the Chiefs, to the Bills, the teams at the top. Not the Denver Broncos and Teddy Bridgewater, who went and got smacked by the Philadelphia Eagles.
They were down to the Redskins at half. They looked good in that game. They beat the Eagles 42-30. That was I don't know about that. And then they lost to the Chargers too. They're 6-4. I don't know what we're arguing about here. You sound crazy.
They have the toughest schedule. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL. The Cowboys have one of the easiest schedules.
You can only play who's in front of you.
That's why they're going to play this week. But the thing is,
they've played the Washington football team. They've played the Eagles.
Your division. So your division. The teams you play 6 times, right? The 6 games you get.
They barely got by the Giants. They barely got by the Giants 2017.
At home. They beat the Patriots in Foxborough. Your boy Mac Jones. They held on against Tampa Bay in the first game of the season. Everybody thought they were going to get their boats rocked. 31-29.
2-point loss. It wasn't like we're that far away.
Participation awards. All right.
They're 7-2. I don't know what we're talking about.
To answer your point, Justin, I do think that this is on the Cowboys, similar to how it was for the Bills. The Bills had never beaten the Chiefs. You got to get over that hump. You got to, climb that step on that ladder, and that's what it would be for the Cowboys. If the Cowboys beat the Chiefs, all the talk is going to be about how legit the Cowboys are, how Dak beat Mahomes, all come back and look like a fucking clown. That's fine. But the thing is, yes, this is a game where the Cowboys need to win, and they are dogs. If they win this game, they might be number 1 in everybody's power rankings.
On the road. You have to win games on the road.
And that's how I'm saying. If they win, they might be number 1 in the power rankings.
So if you're going to put any futures right now on Cowboys to win the NFC or Cowboys to win the Super Bowl or to get the bye or whatever the fuck, do it now. Because if they beat KC, all those lines are just going to drop stupid.
That is true.
And Dak sitting at like 4th place in MVP. That's another line that would shoot up.
There you go.
Just to talk a little bit more about this game. Better chance at reaching the Super Bowl, the Cowboys or the Chiefs?
I just want to go back.
Hold on, Justin. Roland's not done.
No.
Let's hear Roland.
Because I said even before I got into the Dak and Mahomes second question, because I think that question is not the real question. I think it's the teams. It's who needs it. And Ben was talking about the Cowboys becoming number one in the power rankings potentially if they beat the Chiefs this week. So the question here for me, I would answer it saying I think the Chiefs need this win more, because I think this would be a statement win for the Chiefs. I think the Cowboys have shown that they're legit already. We're questioning right now whether or not the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be true AFC championship contenders, because the way that they're playing right now, I wouldn't put them there right now. If the Chiefs win, I think we put some of those questions to bed, and we're saying, hey, the Chiefs are turning the corner, because prior to last week against the Raiders, who play the least too high safety in the league, we were talking about what's wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
And lost their coach, and their receiver almost killed somebody.
Those were the headlines.
No, the receiver did kill someone.
The headlines.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the Chiefs, this is a big game for them. They're at home. They need to win the game. They need to show everybody that they're still the Kansas City Chiefs of old, and that those weapons that they have are still good enough to whoop everybody, and that they can go out there and do what they do.
I believe the Chiefs do need to make the bigger statement, Roland. I agree.
Okay. Why, Justin? Because
for all the reasons Roland just said, this is the turning point for them. This is the inflection. Are they the real team, or are they the bad team we saw them at? And that's why they have that 6-4 record, 6-3,
yeah, 6-4.
6-4
All right,
record.
so I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys though, as fellow Cowboy fans, because I think it's a bigger statement for the Cowboys to win the game, because we have people like Ben up here that are saying they're a great team, but they're not there. They're not elite. It's the Cowboys of,
their signature win.
Yeah, they don't have the signature wins. They have a good.
Bucs would have been it also if they had beat the Bucs. I mean, they just need the signature win.
Of course. And as Cowboy fans, we know we have. Why do you think we're 8-8? Because we can never get those 2-3 extra wins that'll get us somewhere. Against teams like the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they've been there. They've done that. If they lose this game, what are people going to say? They're still the Chiefs. They can win 6 in a row to end the season and still make the playoffs. So the Chiefs, if they lose, it's fine, because they're still the Chiefs. To the people,
I disagree, though. If the Chiefs lose, that hurts their playoff chances and being a contender chances.
Their division is all shitting themselves.
Yeah, I know, but but to go back to the question, but the question was who needs to make a bigger statement. If the Cowboys win this game, they make the statement. They say we're not like all those other teams that were good but couldn't get over that hump. We're the team that almost beat the Bucs, and everybody was like, "Okay, you're good." And then we go on this run. Yes, we lose to the Broncos, but guess what we just did? We came back. Yeah, we came back after getting our ass kicked by the Broncos and just went into KFC. I'm hungry. Into KC and beat fucking Patrick Mahomes. We're here. This is our statement to make. So that's why I think it's more important for the Cowboys to make a statement. But I mean, I can see y'all's points too.
Yeah, it's going to be a good-ass game. It's going to be a good.
I hope it's a good game.
And by the way it sounds, the Cowboys might be making y'all's cards, because they should be favorites in this game, or at least pick them.
Fuck yeah!
The Cowboys make my card every week, Ben.
I think it's fair.
Every week.
The line right now, you got to give the Chiefs at least a field goal or a shorter favorite at home.
Yeah.
All right. Just to keep up on this game, the last topic. Better chance at reaching the Super Bowl, the Cowboys or the Chiefs. Dallas with the number one in total offense, even though Kelsey and Hill are far and above beyond better than what the Cowboys have, according to Ben. And Casey's defense in the last since week 6 have been getting better, only allowing 15.6 points per game since then. Ron, who has the better chance?
I'll just keep it super short. I'm going with the Cowboys, not because I'm a homer guy, but because of what you just said. If the Chiefs lose this game to the boys, their playoff chances go really, really low. So just keep it short, keep it simple. Cowboys have a better chance at reaching the Super Bowl. because of where they sit in the division record-wise, stuff like that. Just numbers.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs just based off what the AFC has to offer. The Bills
I agree, Ben.
The Bills have taken some hiccups. The Titans lost Derrick Henry. Over there in the NFC, you got to deal with Aaron Rodgers. You got to deal with the Rams, the Cards. You got to deal with Brady. There's more competition out in the NFC. That's why I think that it's tougher. But the Cowboys win this game, and they could very well get that 1 seed and that bye, which would make their road easier. So
imagine the playoffs, the Super Bowl going through Dallas.
I mean, until the Super Bowl, yeah. But for now, I'll go with the Chiefs just based off the competition the AFC has to offer.
Agree.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. I got to go with the Chiefs here just because I don't see much out of the AFC. His best competition is probably going to be the Ravens and the Bills. So we'll see. But the Bills, I like what I've seen from them thus far. I think they've looked a lot more clean on offense than the Chiefs. Right now, to win the AFC, my money's on the Bills, but I still got to go with the Chiefs with a better chance than the Cowboys for all the reasons you guys just talked about.
Wow, it's surprising.
The path is just easier.
Yeah, the AFC conference is a lot weaker compared to the NFC. That conference has
very
more
heavy.
killers.
Very top heavy.
I don't want to hear it. I thought we were Cowboy fans together. Sorry.
No, it was just better chance. You got to go with the odds.
Yeah, man. Whatever you say, Justin.
All right, guys. The Los Angeles Rams.
I love this slide, Justin.
Are they pretenders?
Marky Garza, stand up.
Let me read the tweet for you guys. It says, I said last week when everyone was raving about the Rams trading away all of their draft capital, it better work. The Rams' NFL record against teams with a winning record this year is 1-2. The combined record of the opponents they have, their 7 wins against, is 21, 42, and 1. Did the Rams just beat bad teams? Are you buying or selling the Rams? Roland, let me hear it.
I'm still buying the Rams. I'm not off on them completely. The Robert Woods injury, I do think, is a little more important than people are probably leading off. I know the Rams, they have a bevy of options on that offense. They do have that luxury, but this is a team that, let's keep in mind, they did lose Cam Akers in the preseason to a torn Achilles, so they already down him. But they had Darrell Henderson to help them there. So I think they're light at some positions. They just lost Robert Woods, who's their number 2 receiver. And you're asking OBJ to all of a sudden be their guy. I think it's hard for a receiver in the middle of the year to come and assimilate in a new offense. I know OBJ is a talented guy, but
fuck OBJ.
I don't know, man. I still think the Rams have a elite defense. When you talk about the front 4 that they've put together, and the secondary that they still have, you still have an elite corner and Jalen Ramsey out there. You pair that with the pass rush that they have, which I think will start to get going. They need to find a way to stop the run because they are extremely weak against the run. Teams have been running all over them all year. But I still like the game when they played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the middle of the season. I like what I saw from that game when they had to step up and face the Bucs at home, albeit. But I do think this is a team that home field would be very, very important to, because I think if you catch the Rams on the road in the right situation, I don't like it. So.
Shit, the Super Bowl is going to be there.
All right, Ben, let me hear it.
I think they're soft. I think that's what's wrong.
Yeah.
I think that they're playing like too finesse. I like there's just no.
They lost the run game a little bit.
There's no attitude. I mean, they gave Henderson 5 carries, and yeah, it sucks that back-to-back games. Matthew Stafford has had 2 interceptions in the first quarter and 1 going for pick 6. But that second interception was weird as hell. One of those freak interceptions. They can't get out, and a lot of drops. It was drops galore. Like. That's why I say that they're just soft, bro. It seems like they're just in LA cooling, like they're just living it up. And now they got OJB over there. He was just OJB. Yeah, he was just, they were in the red zone and they could never put him in. He was just there standing, watching them. Yeah. And they were horrible in the red zone all damn night. I think that they're soft, bro. And I think that this bye week, like the coach really – I don't know if he's got to get into them or what the hell has to change. Maybe they all got to go and train and work out with Aaron Donald, but something has to happen throughout this bye week.
you're not willing to buy or sell. You're just right in the middle, just molding the purchase here.
They're going to make the playoffs. They might win a playoff game, but right now that's what I see as their ceiling, winning a playoff game. I don't see them as real contenders. They're front runners. When they're playing from behind, it seems like McVay's play calling just goes to strictly pass, because they don't even give Henderson a chance, bro. And he's good. He's a horse. He's a good talent in the backfield. Give him some run. I think that they're playing soft and they're front runners. That's what I think.
Ron, let me hear it, man.
I think they're pretenders because they're a great team, but I don't see them going all the way. Reason being is that I think they outthink themselves too much. The talent that you have on the defense is within itself to take over the game. Don't make the blitz packages too schemy. Just let those guys go out and ball. You saw Ramsey on the sideline last week. He was pissed. And that's good to see from one of your star DBs, So I think they're pretenders because of that, because they just don't know what their identity is. Like now they have this gunslinger that they bring in OBJ, but they're one of the highest scoring teams on the road this year, but they only put up 10 at San Francisco. They took an L versus the Titans and only put up 16. And their defense has been giving up a lot of points. Also, they played the Lions. Yes, they won, but they gave up 19. They played
that was
another crappy team.
Yeah, we were up 28-3 or 28-0.
They played the Texans. They won 38-22, but they still gave up 22 points to the Texans.
Those were garbage.
Some of the losses, though, I will say, like it's some of his game script. Like you talk about with Ben, they shot themselves in the foot in the first quarter with Matt Stafford and his interceptions. They're down 14-0 right off the bat. You can't do that too much and expect to win.
But you can still run the ball, Roland. It's the first quarter. It's the first quarter.
You shoot yourself in the foot at that point.
Kind of like panic mode.
I see what you're saying. Because I have seen a lot on Twitter, whether it's from like analysts or just fans in the comments and stuff. I'll just read the thread that a lot of them do think that McVay has just gone 4 or 5 wide and just said, fuck it, I'm just going to throw the ball. Like you were just saying, like he's just completely
like 7-on-7 drills and shit.
Yeah, and and they've always been known for being that team with the single back in the backfield and running the ball, getting the play action going. And I saw somebody say that they need to go back to the Jared Goff offense. And I think when I saw Matt Stafford coming over to the Rams, I thought, yeah, they're going to pass it a little bit more. They're going to be lethal. But I still thought that they were going to play within the confines of the offense that we've been known to see from the Rams.
He would just be making those throws that Goff wouldn't be making, not throwing 15 more times than when you had Goff, just because you have Stafford now.
And I think
pressure on McVay too.
I think they're pretenders too because I mean, look at it. Yes, you have Stafford, right? You got the big signage, but I mean, when you think of Matthew Stafford, you think of a great quarterback, but he's a losing quarterback. Yes, I know he was with the Lions, but I mean, the dude wouldn't win you games regardless of it. And I think you had touched on Joby, right, Ben? Saying something like that about so you don't have this winning quarterback either. Besides Cooper Kupp, you don't have like a huge name wide receiver besides when OBJ got there. You don't have a stellar back. So maybe they are.
They have weapons, Ron.
Yeah, bro, but it's not like these stars is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, let them become stars. Give them the damn ball.
But so does that mean that they're not pretenders? Is all I'm just answering the question. Are they for real? Or are they pretenders? And I think they're pretenders because of those reasons.
All right,
fair enough. Moving on, Cam Newton with the "I am back." How much pressure is on Cam Newton this weekend, Roland?
0. He's playing with house money.
House money.
There's no pressure on him at all. He's coming in, and everything that he does positive is going to be, hey, he's out here balling, and everything that he does, that's negative is like, oh, well, Cam wasn't playing and people are going to say he wasn't playing for reason. So I just think he's playing with house money right now. He can go out there and play freely. Hopefully, at least the good things for him. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot of pressure on him at all.
He wouldn't be playing with all that pressure, I think, or this question wouldn't be here if he didn't come out and fucking take his helmet off, which should have been a fucking flag. Because I mean, what everybody just it was okay.
Stop hating. It was.
Yeah. So he put all the pressure on himself, I think. So
there
now
is pressure, you think, then, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is pressure, but a lot of it came from himself and that stunt right there. If you do that, you better fucking be back the rest of the season, because if you come out and you play like a dud, what is everybody going to say on Monday on ESPN, on Fox, us here? Oh, he talked a lot of shit, and then you didn't back it up because you threw 2 picks and fumbled the ball. So if there's any pressure on him, it's because he did it to himself.
I think that there's always just been people who don't like Cam for different reasons, whether it be how he dresses. There's people that hate on him for his stupid outfits. There's people that hate on him for his Instagram captions and that fucking font that he uses. There's people that hate on him for his Superman thing. There's people that say if he ain't in the red zone, he's not that good to you. I think that there is pressure on Cam. I think that you can't go better than, 2 attempts, 2 touchdowns, and inside of the 5, both of those, there might not be many people in the NFL better than Cam Newton in the red zone. As far as a red zone weapon, the key is going to be 20-20. That's where I think that there is pressure on him. Christian McCaffrey looks to be back and just as good as ever. So the chips are falling in the right places for Cam. He's got. If he had Chubba Hubbard back there, it wouldn't be so peaches and cream. McCaffrey makes it a lot easier for him. Hey, CMC, get us inside the 20, cuz after that, I got you. He's going to be hawking those touchdowns from CMC. We saw it last week already. But I do think that there is some pressure on Cam. The offense has to move. Last week we had a little segment about is Cam an upgrade or not. The offense has to move. That's the main thing for me. Once they get inside the 20, he's going to be money. But you got to get in there, and he has struggled to move offenses when he was with the Patriots. Better weapons. I think he has pressure, and like with a good outing, with a win this week.
Well, they got Washington at home.
Right, very winnable game. Washington off a bye. Ron Rivera is his old coach. Said he had a couple of things up his sleeve for Cam Newton offense. We'll see how it goes, but I do think that there is pressure on Cam. That's a game they got to win against the Redskins. Washington football team.
All right. Moving on.
Football team.
Will Mac Jones be the best quarterback from the 2021 draft class? And is Mac Jones a system quarterback, or is he the next great thing? Roland, hit us up with this one. What's the deal on Mac?
I don't know if he'll end up being the best quarterback from the 21 draft class when it's all said and done, but right now he is playing the best. I got to give it to him. People want to try and take stuff away from him and say that he has the best situation, which you can't argue he does. Out of the top draft picks in this year's draft class, he is in the best situation. He got drafted to the best team. But he's taking care of his job, of what's being asked of him, and that's all that you can ask him to do. I don't know if he's a system quarterback, because you would be saying that maybe Brady's a system quarterback, but I think it's more of the Tom Brady system than anything. So I got to say no to the second question, no to both questions really, but he is the best quarterback right now. He's playing the best football for sure. That's the reason why he's either leading or in second place for Rookie of the Year right now. So.
I'm gonna say that. Hold on, I need to say this, and I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be a touchy something to say, but I think people hate on Mac Jones because he's like a boring pocket passer, white.
Because of the way he walked up to the draft.
Old school.
The way he walked up to the draft.
Old school.
Because he doesn't throw sidearm.
Yeah, old school fucking QB. People aren't gonna like him because I relate him to like Peyton Manning, fucking first ballot Hall of Famer, but not that exciting. But hey, he's fundamental. He came from a good school, Alabama, and he gets the job done. I started watching Man in the Arena, the Tom Brady story, and that was Brady his first year when he took over Bledsoe. He was just a system guy. He was doing what the coaches told him to do. He was getting them wins. They went to the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. So that's what I think of Mac Jones, and that's why I think people hate on him. You know, he doesn't have the State Farm commercials and all that shit. But I did say, I don't know if I was on the show yet or we did the draft show. I was on Mac Jones hard, and I thought he was going to go a lot higher in the draft, and a lot of teams fucking slept on him. What do you mean? I said that.
I know. You said you were on him hard, and we said pause.
Do you think the 49ers should have taken Mac Jones at 3?
Roland, I've been listening to a couple of podcasts, and they said that Kyle Shanahan, this was his guy.
Yeah, that's what we talked about last week.
And that he got talked out of it. That he got talked out of it. And they said a big factor, and like this is people in Vegas, they said a big factor was that when they saw Mac Jones without his shirt on, and it looked like Tom Brady back at the draft. Just a normal ass dude, not that ripped, defined body that you expect a pro athlete to have.
Yeah. Ran a 5.5 40.
And they,
like Brady did.
Then they took a guy that's played 2 football games in 2 years.
That was crazy. I think Fields should have still gone before Mac Jones, but I do think Mac Jones should have been the 3rd QB taken. I'm on him for Rookie of the Year. I was able to get a really good number on him before he was named the starter or the morning that they cut Cam, one of the two. But as far as him being in the best situation coach-wise, if we're talking about weapons, if we're talking about weapons, though, every other quarterback that was drafted this year has better weapons than what the Patriots have.
But he has a top 5 offensive line unit. None of those quarterbacks up there can say that they have that. And he has a solid run game that takes a lot of pressure off of him. And he's just being asked to do what he needs to. He doesn't throw the ball a lot downfield. He has the shortest average depth of target out of any.
He actually hasn't. Yeah, he hasn't thrown for 200 yards in like 5 games this year.
They have the second best defense in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't. The running backs.
It's a good situation. I mean,
it's a situation, but the weapons like Bourne. You're throwing to Bourne. What's the other dude's name?
Jacoby Myers.
Who got his first touchdown last week?
Right.
His whole career.
Hunter Henry.
He's made Hunter Henry relevant again. Like he doesn't have the greatest weapons, but the way it all fits together, like when you say he's got a great run game, I mean, Trevor Lawrence has James Robinson. Fields has Montgomery. That's like, I feel you. It just all works together better in New England than it does for these other guys.
He was drafted into the best quarterback situation that you can be drafted into as far as a rookie goes.
I think that a lot of people slept on him, and if I'm not mistaken, a couple weeks or 3 weeks, I don't know when it was in the show, you guys were like kind of shitting on him, weren't you?
No, we were just talking about the play.
Who was it?
I'm a big fan.
He ankle picked a player.
That's what we were talking about. Was he was dirty or not?
Yeah, he's a gritty player. Likes to ankle pick.
After watching.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Somebody said something because I was like, don't sleep on him because at Alabama he got outshined a lot. By the receiver and the running back. Just the way they always put these studs out. Every single year from Bama, and then. We were talking about Tua. My bad. Where like where y'all were.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say after watching Mac Jones play, I just like that he's on time. He's on time with everything. He is always in rhythm. You can tell he knows the plays. He knows where his guys are supposed to be. And to ask that and for a rookie to be able to do that, that speaks volumes.
I mean, he was a possible Heisman candidate also.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget that. Yeah, and a lot of people thought that he got robbed. And yes, he's making these receivers look amazing, but hey, the ball has to come from somewhere. Yeah. He has to put the ball on spot. Yeah, they could have 10 yards of separation from the fucking DB, but if he doesn't put it on them,
they did.
Yeah, but if he doesn't put it on them, then who looks like the
dumbass? He threw a nice steep ball in college.
Dude, Mac Jones, bro.
All right, let's move on. The NFL MVP race.
We're quarterback crazy.
Are these your front runners? If so, rank them. Guys, if there was ever a year for a MVP to be a non-quarterback, it was going to be this year with Derrick Henry. Unfortunately, he did get injured, and now it's a complete quarterback race. Roland, I want you to start. Give me your 1 through 3 here based off this list. And if I'm missing somebody.
I don't think you're missing anybody off the top of my head, but 1, 2, 3, I'd probably go Josh Allen, Brady, and just give me Dak. I'll be a little homer here, although I would probably put Lamar up there too. with Dak in that 3 spot. But yeah, that's my top 3.
Ben.
I would go Allen, Lamar, Dak. The Brady interceptions are taking the toll, man.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray is losing some games.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I don't think it's very homerish, but I think that Josh Allen is the top guy.
He's the
Dak
top guy by Vegas.
Dak does have the best record out of all the guys up here, except for Kyler, so that could help him in the long run. And a win this week, like we said, could catapult him up. I think that there might be a guy missing, a long shot, Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp's got to be peeking over somebody here in the back. One of these quarterbacks.
Fucking putting up stupid numbers.
Has a receiver ever gotten close to winning MVP before?
Randy Moss might have.
I was gonna think of that. Somebody Google who was the last.
I think Lamar's a sneaky
wide receiver to win.
Lamar has to be because he has more offensive yards than some teams have combined there.
Exactly. He does everything for that team. He does everything.
And he's still at over like a 6-1.
Dude, he still would have been the leading rusher even if J.K. Dobbins didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
No, Roland.
I have that bet. If anyone who's wondering why Roland's saying that,
I would say Allen, Dak, and then Lamar. The reason I'm putting Dak higher is, like Ben mentioned, because of the record. It's like a kind of a comeback year also, so he's going to be in the limelight, after the stupid injury to his ankle, which was ridiculous. So him coming back from that, if they do win and they win the NFC and then they go up there, to the NFC Championship, why not him? But Josh Allen is a stud. His numbers speak for themselves. And then you just have to have Lamar there because essentially, man, he is that Baltimore offense. He is the leading rusher there. If his receivers aren't great, Hollywood Brown can give him a game or two here. His tight end is ridiculously good. But he does put a lot of the games on his back to where Josh Allen and Dak still have these playmakers that they could go to and they can kind of lean on. So that's why I have Allen, then I have Dak, and then I have Lamar to close it out.
That's why I had Dak 3, because I think he's handcuffed a little by Zeke. All these other 4 guys, it's pretty much on them. They don't have that bell cow in the backfield. That's the Bills' biggest fucking problem is no run game at all. The Ravens, they've got Freeman back there. They had Le'Veon Bell back there.
Yeah.
So I think that these guys are shouldering more. Therefore, their stats are looking a little better, and Zeke's taken away. When Dak might have 3 or 4 touchdowns, but Zeke gets his 2 touchdown game. You feel me? So
yeah. And then I liked your point on Brady. The teams, they started off great, and then they kind of hit a little,
no AB, it's AB.
A little speed bump here and there. The picks are kind of high, and Kyler is a little banged up, and the Cardinals have lost, a couple games here recently, and kind of like in the NBA, I think you kind of correlate MVP winner with best team or best record.
Good point. I'm sure we'll visit this one again probably next
week.
What are
yours, Justin?
Josh Allen, he's been doing it with a makeshift O-line. Another guy I think went down today, Ben, if you can confirm that.
The guy that when he got drafted, he went through a table on draft night.
Then Lamar Jackson, he is that offense. He has more offensive yards than some teams do right now in the league. And then the homer pick would be Dak because of his record. Or you can interchange Kyler, but I like Dak a little bit more than Kyler. So 1, 2, 3 there.
And every week, this should change as a favorite. Every week.
Oh, yeah. We'll revisit it next week if we can and see where we're standing after this week's games. But time to talk some college football playoff rankings. As you can see here, we did have a fall off. Oklahoma down 5 spots. They were previously undefeated. They were 8-0. Lost to Baylor, who has now jumped them. Over here, guys, I have put together 3 teams, Oregon and Ohio State and Alabama. Only reason I'm not including Georgia's schedule is because it's a cupcake. All they got left is Charleston Southern. I don't even think that's a FBS team. I think that's a Division II team. And then they got Georgia Tech, who they should run over. But there's some games left for Alabama. You got Arkansas this week, pretty decent team. And then they got to go to Jordan-Hare Stadium at Auburn. That's going to be a tough one. That's where you can – what's that?
Then they got Georgia in the SEC Championship.
And Georgia in the SEC Championship. Following, we got Oregon with ranked Utah and then Oregon State, which, rivalry game could be a tough one, but ranked Utah is what we're going to look at. Now we move on to Ohio State. They got the beef of their schedule right here, right now. Michigan State number 7, following by 6 Michigan next week. Guys, out of this schedule, who's more likely to drop a game here?
Oregon.
State.
Ooh.
Oregon.
Okay, I heard Oregon first, so give me why Oregon is more likely.
Last week I said Oregon was going to lose to Utah. I think that they're going to lose to Utah in Utah this week. They got a night game. They're going to Utah, and then they're going to play Utah again regardless in the Pac-12 championship. But I think they lose this one at Utah.
So they can't beat Utah twice. It's just one time.
They can beat them twice. Oh no, you're right. I mean, they're going to play twice regardless of the outcome of this game. It's going to be Oregon and Utah 2 weeks from now in the Pac-12 title, no matter what happens this week in their head-to-head matchup. I just think that Utah wins this
State by Roland. Roland, give me why Ohio State can lose one of these games.
I will say, to Ben's point, I do think Oregon, this is their most losable game on their schedule. It is against Utah at Utah. If they're going to lose a game, it's right here this week. So if you're calling your shot, that's probably your best game to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this game, but I'm just going off the fact that Ohio State has to play Michigan State and Michigan back-to-back weeks. I will concede the fact that Ohio State is probably playing the best football out of all of them right now. I will concede that fact, and for that reason, I'm confident that they probably win both of these games, but I think they're going to drop one of them because Michigan State has a solid defense.
They're 19-point favorites against Michigan State.
Yeah. So I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
19 points. That's the fucking gap. That's the gap.
They're playing like studs right now. They're blowing people out. They're blowing people
since
out.
that Oregon loss. Since that Oregon loss, they've been rolling.
And then they've owned Michigan historically. They know where Jim Harbaugh lives. They know what he does. It's just
they own some space in Harbaugh's head too.
Yeah, they have his number. I don't think he's never beat them. So
nope.
Who's to say they do it this year? So I might have to backtrack a little bit, but give me Ohio State to drop the game at Michigan, because if Harbaugh's ever going to do it, it's now.
It's this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ron, I know you're a little bit partial to Alabama. Do you see them maybe losing that game at Auburn or even this week against Arkansas?
I've not watched college football all year because I work on Saturdays.
Sorry.
I have not kept up with shit. All I know is that Alabama's going to win everything the way they do every year. That's what happens. They're the fucking – if there was a G League for the NFL, it's Alabama, okay? And that's the way it works. Roll Tide. They're going to win the championship this year and just fuck everybody else.
They're that G League team that the high school players go to if they don't want to go to college.
Yeah. Lonzo's on that squad.
Whoa.
Or Jello, my bad. Yeah.
Okay, Jello, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama, they could join the XFL and just be a complete feeder system for the NFL at this point. They are an NFL factory by all means.
Alabama's that team that, like, the worst NFL team of the year, they always say, oh, can Alabama beat them? Like, they always make that stupid comparison because there's an NFL team that's just fucking trash.
The Browns versus Alabama. Who's going to win?
This year the Texans or something like that.
There's no doubt that Georgia is the best team, though. Even I think in the SEC championship when they play against Alabama, I do think that Georgia will be favored in that game. And I think it's going to be by more than 3 points, more than a field goal. But Justin, you were talking about that. What's the rivalry? The Iron Bowl? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Iron Bowl with Jordan-Hare Stadium.
My boy Bo Nix broke his ankle, man. So you're looking at Alabama to be like a 19, 21 point favorite next week against Auburn.
That's interesting. So Alabama and Georgia, there's a possibility that they could play each other twice here. They might play each other in the SEC championship, and then they would see each other again maybe in the final.
If
of the playoffs.
Wins.
Let's say if that happens, guys, can either team beat each other twice?
Are both teams undefeated?
Well, if Bama lost to Georgia, I don't think they would get in with 2 losses. I don't see it, because if they did get in with 2 losses, the committee would pretty much be giving a middle finger to Cincinnati and all Power 5 teams. And
let's put Bama to beat Georgia then.
Don't even show up if you're not.
Well, Roland, let's say like Georgia by a field goal as time expires against Bama in the SEC title.
They would find a way to put them in for sure.
They would.
That's some I don't know.
Who did Alabama lose to?
They lost to A&M.
A&M.
Let's flip it though. Let's say
that's right.
Bama wins in the SEC championship game.
Like, okay, so then, but even that fucking L, like, it was a crazy, stupid game when Bama was down by a lot and they came all the way back. It was here in Texas.
No, Bama was up. A&M came back, but the thing is,
that's right.
Alabama
I was
plays
drunk
Georgia.
watching it at Skindu.
Alabama plays Georgia, so the only way for Alabama to get in is beating Georgia in the SEC title.
I feel you.
So let's say they do that and they go play each other again in the final. Can that team Alabama beat Georgia twice this year, or is that just too much to ask? And Georgia gets the win. They split victories.
Just, do I look like Miss Cleo or what? Cause
no, I want to just fantasy book the college football playoff here a little bit.
If Bama makes it with 2 losses, you take all the point. You take away the point of playing. For
but what I said is Alabama wins the SEC championship.
Oh, if they win the SEC championship, Georgia should get in with 1 loss for sure. Because
he's saying do
they both get in?
Justin's going as far as saying, Roland, can Alabama beat Georgia twice?
Oh, why? I heard his question originally. I didn't know if we were back to that. Yeah, I mean, if they beat them this here in the SEC championship game, I think they could beat them again in the national championship.
I think if we had to send a team out on the field to beat Georgia, though, I'm pretty sure we would all pick Ohio State. Or you would go Bama, Roland.
Man, that's tough.
I'd go Ohio State.
I'd probably go Ohio State just based off of how they're playing. But it's just hard for me to go against Bama because I wouldn't call myself a Bama fan, but I do like watching them play a lot. I like a lot of the guys that have come out of there. But I got Ohio State. Yeah.
NFL Factory.
Hey, look at Notre Dame, though, number 8.
They won't get in, dude. They won't get in.
Hey, look, Ohio State's going to beat Michigan State. Boop, they're going to be out. Ohio State's going to beat Michigan. Boop, they're going to be out. So Notre Dame will be sitting at 5 with Cincinnati.
But they have the Cincinnati beat Notre Dame.
I know.
They have the head-to-head. Who do you put?
I know.
Notre Dame brings a lot of money. That's going to be interesting.
If Oregon loses this week to Utah, I mean, if Oregon wins, I don't think that we have to worry about it unless they lose in the Pac-12 title. But if Oregon loses this week, that's Cincinnati against Notre Dame. Who gets in that number 4 spot? I'm telling you, it's going to give a lot of people headaches, man.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I think it could get interesting with
Notre
this
Dame
Oregon
brings
loss.
Big money. Notre Dame brings big money to college football.
TV rights, everything that they are. They're their own entity. Even though they're not winning all the time, they are big-time money for college football.
It's sad that we're even talking about this. But it's true. I mean, I'm saying it's sad because I don't like it. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's reality. That's probably what's going to happen.
What is it that you don't like? The 4-team playoff?
No. I just don't like that Cincinnati. They can go undefeated for maybe I think they lost 1 game last year. They had a really, really good season.
They took it to Georgia, almost beat them in their bowl game.
They've shown that
They've
shown that they're a legit squad. They're undefeated. Yeah. We've seen this before. It's just like you're not giving these teams, and it used to be this way. You're not giving these teams an opportunity to play for the ultimate prize, which is what everybody wants to play for at the end of the day. It used to be, you're not playing, and you're not playing a tough enough schedule. So then these guys go. Then that's why it would piss me off with the whole Notre Dame and Cincinnati thing, because it's like, you don't play a tough enough conference schedule. So you're telling me to go and schedule out these guys and seek them out. First of all, these guys don't want to play you in the preseason if you're Cincinnati. They don't want to. That's just the fact of the matter. They don't want to play you guys in the first 3 games of the season because they don't want to lose. Because they have to go, and granted, this is the flip side of it, because they're going to go ahead and they have to face a tougher conference schedule than you do in Cincinnati, right? That's why Bama wouldn't want to play that. Well, although Bama does schedule tough games in the beginning of the season, but other teams wouldn't want to take that risk just because they know that they're maybe looking at an L or maybe 2 in their conference schedule. So why schedule Cincinnati? So you're not finding a lot of teams to schedule. So in this particular situation, it would really get me mad because Cincinnati is doing what you're asking them to do. They sought out Notre Dame. Let's play this game. Highly ranked team. We beat them. And then just because Notre Dame is winning games at the end of the season, not in a conference, they get to jump Cincinnati, who they lost to. I get why it would happen. but I just don't agree with it personally.
I think there's an easy answer though to all this.
Expand, right?
Expand.
Yeah.
It's simple. Expand.
Yeah,
Feature March
simple.
Madness, 64 teams.
And March Madness did it. I don't know why it's so hard to do it for college football.
Division 2 and 3 have 64 team playoffs. I'm not saying we got to go 64 teams, but they already do it.
Yeah,
like it's possible.
I don't know what's so crazy about it, honestly. Maybe it's the scheduling conflicts with the NFL, and maybe that runs into their playoffs. But because I know the NFL likes to do Saturday playoff games, but could you imagine an extra week of playoffs in the college football playoff system?
That'd be crazy. I was gonna say something and I totally fucking forgot. But I'm out, guys. I'm out. I'm gonna go have some dinner with the fam. But before I go, I want to give my plays for whoever's hearing this. Like, Roland reminded me the pod ain't coming out till after the game, dumbass.
Talking into the future.
Yeah, but my plays for the Thursday night game between the Patriots and the Falcons are, I'm gonna go with under 20 first half, and then I'm went with under. No, I'm lying. Under 20 Atlanta Falcons team total points for the game, and under 23 for the game first half. So under 23 first half, under 20 Atlanta team total, and then I opened up a 14 parlay money line with the Patriots. Right. So those are my plays. I'm out. I'm gonna go be with the fam. But I look forward to seeing you, Justin, hopefully at the bachelor party. Roland, I look forward to seeing you at the wedding. Ben, I look forward to seeing you at both at the bachelor party and the wedding.
I'll see you Saturday, brother.
So we're gonna get lit. So you'll get it. Enjoy the rest of the show. The people that are listening, these guys are gonna kill it. We got some fucking stupid NBA gurus here, especially my man Roland. So I'm out, but thank you guys for listening, and follow all our socials, man. Y'all have a good one.
Ron. We'll see you, Ron, later.
Peace.
All right, that's a good time to segment into the NBA, as Ron said. Roland, what do we got today?
Shit, let's get into it. This is a hot topic right now. I mean, we're going to hit the high notes here in the NBA until we get into the thick of it. I mean, a couple more weeks have passed. But are the Lakers in trouble? They're 8-8 right now. They're 8th in the West. They're right in that play-in little series or whatever. And I'll end the introduction with this. Can LeBron once again come back and play the savior role? Can he come out there and be the ultimate Band-Aid when he comes back from his injury? Is he the problem solver that he once was, or do they still need something else out there?
First off, we need shooters from the beginning. We need shooters. Can
LeBron
save the day?
Hit us with it, Just.
In a way, all we need to do is we know that there's 2 seasons in the NBA. There's your regular season and the playoffs, the dance. You got to make the dance, though. Can LeBron save you once you're at the dance? At this age? Not anymore, guys. I don't think he can. We are in trouble here. I think we still make the playoffs, even if LeBron needs more extended time. He is practicing right now. He's not going to get on the court because we don't want to aggravate that injury anymore.
He's playing tomorrow, cuz. He's playing tomorrow.
Yeah, so like I said, he's not going to save the day for us. We're going to make the playoffs. I think we'll be in the top 6. I don't think we're going to have to play in the playing game this year, but I'm not looking at a championship run with this roster right now. And the other thing is Vogel's costing us games. There's at least 2 games this year that he single-handedly has cost us. And you know how it gets in LA when the coaches start costing games.
How do you like some of those lineups?
The birds start chirping. What's that?
How do you like some of those lineups that he's been throwing out there?
I don't understand the lineups whenever Rondo and Westbrook are on at the same time. I don't understand that.
What's their best lineup to you?
It's hard to say because of the LeBron injury. We haven't fully seen where we can say, okay, 80, obviously 80 at the 5. That's always going to be our best situation. Or Dwight. Whenever we have DJ even in the game, it's a bad situation for us. The next one is Avery Bradley or whatever his name is. When he's on, he can shoot it. He has to be in there too. So we've been playing a lot of this new kid. I forget his name.
Tyler.
He's a light skin guy. I forget his name.
THT?
No, not THT.
He's been balling though since he's been back.
Yeah, he has. This light skin guy. He might be a rookie. Why can't I remember his name right now?
Reeves?
Yes, Reeves. We've been playing Reeves, and he can shoot it, man.
Oklahoma?
He can shoot it.
He's a white boy. He ain't light skinned.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, he's light skinned.
He's white
Caucasian.
as hell.
He's Caucasian.
Boy's pale as fuck.
So what do you think, Ben? What do you think? Are the Lakers
I think that Russ saying that brick by brick shit was hilarious because of the bricks that he's been throwing. You know, I'm ultimate Laker hater. Shout out my boy Eddie T. Me and him made a bet, $50, that the Lakers do get in the playoffs, but lower than a 5 seed. So 6, 7, or 8, I win my 50. If they get in as a 4, 3, 2, or 1, he wins.
Right now, I think
I think that I'm looking good, man. Even with LeBron back, I think that they have shit to figure out. I think that they're an older squad, so guys are going to be in and out of the lineup. No, I'm not wishing injury upon anybody. I'm just thinking logically over an 82, 81 game season. Come playoffs, though, it's like you said, it's best out of 7. To beat this team 4 times in a series might take another injury in the playoffs, you know, in the early rounds. And also, you know, out of the West, has there been a team that has really shown a lot besides maybe the Phoenix Suns? I think that right now the Phoenix Suns are the favorite, and the Warriors. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm also a fucking Warriors hater, but they clearly slipped my head. The Warriors have shown a lot. The Lakers will be there in the playoffs. The thing is, you know, they're already of the mindset that it doesn't matter what seed we get in, as long as we get in. I do think that they'll try and avoid that play-in game because it got a little dicey last year. You never want to be in a win and go home game, you know, when it's just one night. So I do see them getting in the playoffs, maybe 7 or 6 seed, but it's not looking great, man. And I was one saying that Vogel wasn't the guy after they won the championship. I didn't think that he was the guy. So to hear you saying that he's cost y'all a couple of games is music to my ears.
2 games I can think of already that he did cost. And Trevor Ariza was going to be out 8 weeks. We're at 4 weeks now. They're saying it might be up to 5 before he comes back. Yeah. So 5 more. So he
like Ben said, older squad. They got a lot of guys, a lot of big names on that team. But Ben did bring up a good point. Looking at the Western Conference standings, there's not a lot out there record-wise. Ben, I think you're good on your bet. I don't see them beating the Nuggets in the standings, and
that's crazy because all they got is Jokic rolling.
But they're still getting it done. They're going to get Murray back at some point, hopefully, and Michael Porter Jr. hopefully can continue to be that 2 guy for them. Although he is battling some injuries.
On paper, these guys shouldn't be worse than the 3 seed, the Lakers. On paper.
Yeah, no, on paper for sure. If you look at them, but. You know, you still got the Jazz, who are a consistent machine. They still got their pieces. So I think the top 3 in the West are pretty much set when you look at the Warriors, Suns, and Jazz. But after that, I would slide the Lakers in at the 4th best odds in the West to win the title or to come out of the West, because you can't get me to put my money on the Mavs over the Lakers to come out.
Yeah,
of the
like
West.
The Lakers are better than the Mavs.
You can't get me to put my money on them despite their records right now. And you can't get me to put money on the Nuggets. Although I do like the Nuggets. I like to bet on them. I like Jokic and I like Michael Porter.
AD's the answer to Jokic, though, I think.
But that was going to be my other thing with the Lakers, and that's the thing that kind of scares me. You alluded to it. It happened last year against the Suns. They were looking good. Then they got some injuries. AD is bound to get hurt at some point this year.
He's day-to-day right now.
Yeah.
My brother Leo was in the group chat telling my cousin Gene, AD already looks hurt because he said he kind of looks hurt yesterday during the game.
You know, AD, I want to say, because I think it was last year or the beginning. I think it was off of the Disney World Championship or the COVID year that they won the championship. That I was kind of talking like AD might be like a top 3 player in the league, top 5 when he's on. But I haven't seen that in a little while.
When he's on and healthy, I think you're there, but he hasn't been healthy.
He hasn't been healthy in a little while, yeah. So he needs to get there.
Hey, T-Mac is doing his job, man. He's stirring that shit up.
Yeah.
If Dwight and AD both retired today, you know, who would be considered the better player? Yeah. And T-Mac said it's no doubt Dwight, but like just the media and ESPN doing it, T-Mac knows what he's doing, fam.
Yeah, but I think because that was a hot topic. It was Dwight Howard.
I know. It shouldn't have spilled over a month later, bro.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But again, the Lakers are a team. They're always in the headlines. They're the Lakers. They got LeBron James. And Anthony Davis, I mean, this is where my frustration comes in with the guy because he's ultra talented. he pulled a stunt to get out of New Orleans. Call it what it is. He pulled his stunt. He got out. And then he comes to LA and pretty much was handpicked by LeBron to be his teammate, and an aging LeBron at that, man. Why are we talking about LeBron coming back and being the savior? Like, that's the thing that gets me with AD. Like AD should already be that guy. Like, we're talking about, again, like I said,
the torch should have been passed already.
Exactly. After they won the championship, and AD, he went off in that final series. He went off in the playoffs. AD was hitting step back threes. He was looking like the cheat code that we all thought that he could be. But that was in a vacuum. That was in a small
bubble.
In a bubble. That was in a bubble. Exactly. That was in a bubble. But it just frustrates me because AD has so much talent, and it's just a guy that he should be carrying this team right now.
Yeah,
he needs to be.
Better days ahead, hopefully, once we make the playoffs. But
it's so early.
Availability is key.
All right, whose stock's rising? Whose stock's falling? Whose stock is going to keep on rising, maybe, and whose will maybe recover a little bit should be the question. Two guys here that we have in front of us are DeMar DeRozan, who just signed his contract with the Bulls this past offseason, moving on from my Spurs, going on to greener pastures in Chicago to play with Zach LaVine and
older DeRozan too.
And Vucevic. Yeah, an older DeRozan. But we all knew that he was a stud. I mean, coming from Toronto, he did play well with the Spurs, although they're not in the media a lot. But anyways, and we have Damian Lillard here, who, if you look at his stats, it's probably still putting up some numbers, but it hasn't looked as easy. The record might not be there for Portland right now. They're always a team that people want to see take that next step. People always have the debate with Dame, superstar or star. I've been on the side of saying he's a superstar. I've seen what this guy can do. But, again, they still have not taken the leap, whether or not that's a small market team not attracting players, whatever.
He don't want to be there. He don't want to be there.
Fact of the matter is, Dame is not having the best start to the year. By his standards, the team does not look as good as we thought that it would. DeMar DeRozan, on the other hand, is flat out balling at this point in time. He has people talking about him as a dark horse MVP candidate. It's early in the season. Not even a quarter of the season has been played. That's why we don't even have an MVP slide up yet. But I'm just saying, people are talking about the brand of basketball that this guy's playing. He's a point scorer. He's almost at 27 points a game. He's a facilitator. How many assists a game does he have? He has about 4 assists a game. He helps out in all facets of the game. The Bulls are doing good. What do you guys think about this slide here? Do you think DeMar DeRozan can keep this up and keep up playing like he's back in Toronto in 2017? And do you think Dame will turn it around?
Bro, where are those DeRozan rumblings for MVP coming from? Huh?
Bro,
Reddit
I've seen it on Twitter. Oh,
all right. Not just the Reddit streets. It was on
not
Twitter
just Reddit.
too.
Hey,
all right.
Surprised.
Let's break this down like a pound right here. All right. DeMar DeRozan, the biggest difference here, DeMar DeRozan had his choice. He handpicked, where the fuck do I want to go play? And then he went and chose the team that best suited him, and he's happy as hell. Dame all summer, we heard, I don't want to be here. Dame's camp, leaking shit. We know it's not going to work in Portland. They haven't made any changes. With him and CJ, they're the exact same guy. CJ's just, a little bit, he's just not as good as Dame. Dame doesn't want to be there. That's the biggest thing. And the referees are...
I don't want to stop you. I just want to say, Dame, his points are actually down 8 points a game this year. He's down.
The referees are making sure, baby.
Yeah, he's down to 20 points a game right now. I just want to back that. Go ahead.
He's one of the guys that's had one of the bigger issues with the way that the referees have, officiated games this season with some of those rules about the jumping. We know that he was a great free throw shooter, and he would be on the line often, in years prior. His scoring is down. He doesn't want to be there. Their team isn't good. It kind of reminds me of Harden, just that he's not selling out and like going all the way with it like Harden, but like he knows what he has, and he knows that he can't win a title with that shit. But he doesn't want to look like a punk or like a sucker because he's given his word. He said some shit, and he's going to stick to it. Harden did it, but it's literally the exact same situation of knowing what you have and what your limits are, and just knowing that it ain't it. That no championship roster there. It's just a matter of time before I think he forces his way out or they finally trade CJ.
What do you think, Justin?
Roland, also, next time, Roland, that you break down the Bulls players, don't forget to mention Caruso, all right? Caruso's a big piece of that Chicago team.
He's playing well. He's playing well for sure.
He's starting right now because of Patrick Williams being out, and they've moved DeRozan to the power forward spot.
So, Justin, before you go, I want to ask you, what do you think about these articles that have been coming out about DeMar DeRozan and his agent? They actually handpicked the Lakers, but the Lakers started backroom talks with Russell Westbrook and went that route instead. A couple games into the season, how does that make you feel?
Well, going into the preseason on Laker Twitter, we thought DeRozan was going to be one of the options. He was one of the names that was being thrown around. We got a little crazy, and we thought, Damian Lillard was going to be an option as well.
Hey, Roland, a little crazy. They got a little crazy.
I'm just giving you the real of what Laker Twitter can be.
The Photoshops are going.
Yeah. So DeRozan, it looked like that was going to be a landing spot for us. We talked it over amongst the Laker fans, and we thought, the mid-range DeRozan would help a little bit, but it hurts to see how good he is now, and it does hurt to see Lonzo have success, Caruso have this much success, knowing what this the baby Lakers, as we used to call them, what they are now out in their little teams and pieces of the NBA that they're playing now. It's not easy to handle. You got Randall, you got Ingram, you got Larry Nance. It's all we mortgaged all that future that we're gonna have for LeBron's one bubble championship, and it's a pill that we can swallow because it ended up in a championship, but it's not been easy knowing that our future when Bron's out, AD's not the guy, so it hurts. It hurts to see.
It hurts to see.
But do you like DeMar to keep this up the rest of the year?
If I had to choose one who could keep it up or who's going to recover, I would think DeMar is the guy out there in Chicagoland. I think he's the one that can keep this up better than Dame. And for the reasons that Ben mentioned, Dame doesn't want to be there. He doesn't like the team. We thought he was moving this summer. He looked like he was going to be the free agent, the hottest ticket, and he ended up staying. And I think that's part of the reason. You can just see on the court the way he's playing. It's just you don't see passion. You don't see the heart that you used to see with Dame. And then the other thing that to mention was Ben said officiating. It has affected him. I saw him yesterday, or the day before, a highlight where he's kicking out trying to get that foul call, and refs just letting it play.
Free throws are down from 7 games to 3.5.
Yeah.
Cut in half.
Hey, Roland.
And he's down 8 points. That's not enough to make up 8 points, but that's points.
For DeRozan, and as a Spurs fan, I honestly think that he's just doing the exact same thing he was doing with the Spurs.
He's doing the same thing he was doing with the Spurs.
But winning games.
It's crazy because
he has a better roster and cast around him, though, right?
That's the only difference is the wins and the losses. He's still scoring his 23-24, but they're just winning. That's it.
Better cast around him, definitely. He's got a dude in Zach LaVine on his right hand. That's a monster. I mean, you guys talk about Caruso. He's just in a great situation.
And Kobe White coming off injury, adding to that team.
And I just want to say, I'm not trying to get on any soapbox here, but it's not. Just be careful what you wish for. That's all I want to say, because all that was on Spurs Twitter the whole year last year was we need to get rid of DeMar. We need to get rid of DeMar. He doesn't want to take 3-point shots. He's ruining the team. He's ruining the development of the other players. We need to get him off the team so other guys can get shots. But he was single-handedly keeping the Spurs afloat. Getting rid of DeMar or letting DeMar walk, it's not because the Spurs wanted these guys to come up and flourish. Maybe they wanted to see what they had for sure, but it was just they're going to tank this year, and that's what's happening right now. The Spurs are tanking. That's all I'm saying. DeMar DeRozan was a great piece for the Spurs. It pains me to see him balling on the Bulls because I liked him with the Spurs a lot, but I'm happy for him at the same time because he's a good dude. He could have pouted and forced his way out of San Antonio or decided not to show up. But he went there. He logged in his minutes. He punched his time card, 82 games or as much as he could for the Spurs, 67 games. Wait, no, I'm looking at Damian Lillard right now. He clocked his time card.
And he's just a good fit for what the Bulls stand for, bro, and like what the Bulls, represent. He's a perfect fit for that.
All right. Way too early. Way too early.
Back for some way too early power rankings. This is a fluid situation here, but we do have the same team at the top. We got the Warriors. They're at, what's their record right now? I had it up. I think they're 12-2 now. The Warriors just got done beating the Nets. That's probably their statement win for the year. Steph Curry is looking like the way too early MVP candidate right now. He's playing a great brand of basketball. They are 12-2, 8-1 at home, 4-1 on the road. All things are working for them. Andrew Wiggins, he's playing really well. I'm not a big fan of his, but he is playing pretty good. I got to give him his props. He's playing well right now. And they still don't have Klay Thompson. Word is he got cleared for full practice today or yesterday. And he's probably a couple of weeks away from his introduction to the team. So a lot to look forward to for Warriors.
Wiseman also.
Wiseman hasn't been back either. Yep, a lot to look forward to for the Warriors. And I think they're a for real contender at this point in the season. I think I've seen enough. Steph Curry is looking like the cheat code that he was at the end of the season. And
well, he get hurt though, Roland. Another guy that always misses time.
He's the guy that misses time. I'm going to be positive with this one and say that he's going to miss less than 10 games this year because he always tweaks an ankle. Here and there. We all know about the ankle braces that he wears, much talked about. But I like the way Steph Curry's playing. He's probably everybody's favorite at MVP right now, and I'm a fan of his. I like watching him play. Moving on to number 2, it's the Phoenix Suns. They might be the hottest team on this list. They're on a 10-game win streak right now. They find themselves at 11-3. They just had a pretty good victory last night, although it was against the Luka Doncic list. I don't know why I tried saying that. The Mavs were without Luka Doncic last night. The Suns did what they needed to do, beat them, secured their 10th victory in a row. They have everybody back from last year. Good squad.
We knew what to expect from that.
I thought they might have maybe had a little bit of rust, or not rust, but just like a little bit of a hangover from their success last year. But they put that to bed. Chris Paul keeps getting better like a fine wine. 14 assists, no turnovers. One of the only guys to do that multiple times in his career. Pleasure to keep on watching this guy ball out. Number 3, the Bulls. We just talked about them. They're number 2 in the East, I want to say. Then we got they're number 3 in the East. They're 10-5 technically. Then we got the Nets at number 4. I just put them down there because they just lost to the Warriors on national television. And then we got to go the Wizards at 5. They're still up there leading the East, but I just adjusted the rankings a little bit.
But 2 teams on this top 5. We're a LaMelo Ball podcast, and 2 teams on this top 5 in the last week have lost to LaMelo Ball and the Hornets. The Warriors lost to them, and the Wizards lost.
The Hornets are sitting at 5 in the East. They're 9-7.
Yeah.
So you like them to hop into this top 5 at some point in the season?
I don't know about the top 5, Roland. I'm just saying.
If we had 5 more teams on this list, would you put them on there?
I think I would put them top 10. The Hornets, yeah. But the
wins over the Warriors and who else?
The wins over the Warriors, the Wizards. They do have some bad losses sprinkled in there, but they have some good wins. The conversation, yeah, in OT, that was gotcha. The conversation I wanted to have was about the Nets, though. And I don't want to overreact, but they did get smacked by the Warriors, so that kind of just they had been running smooth. They were locked in, they were in go mode. They've got Harden being the point guard. His numbers are way down scoring. His assists, I believe he's leading the NBA in assists. He's being that facilitator. And I think he would have been that with Kyrie there. But a loss like this makes you, even though they were missing Joe Harris for the game, makes you turn over your shoulder and like, yo, what's up with Kyrie, bro? Are we going to see Kyrie this year? I know we're only a month in, but a loss like this, I mean, I know that they just need Kyrie for the playoffs, but a loss like this reminds you, yo, Kyrie, what's up? You know?
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching that game, that the Nets are obviously missing some power to their punch. They don't pack the same punch without Kyrie. I think that's pretty obvious. Kyrie's a top flight player in this game when he's actually lacing them up,
Right.
and not on the sideline, which he's another guy that just he can't stay on the basketball court for whatever reason. And right now it's the vaccine. You know, he's entitled to his own opinions. I would hope that at some point he would just be like, you know what, I'm going to do it so I can help my team get a ring. But to some guys, their principle means more. So I don't know, man. I thought if Kyrie was going to come back, it would have already happened.
Yeah.
It's early, Roland. But so I'll ask you and Justin both, based off what you just said, is there a better chance of Kyrie coming back or retiring? Percentages. Give me percentages.
I'd say coming back because he could still come back.
Give me a percentage.
To a team that isn't under COVID protocols as strict as the Nets are.
So you think they would deal him before he retired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you I mean, obviously there's capital to gain from dealing him, and I think the Nets would seek that. It's just a bad situation because KD only goes to the Nets because Kyrie says, let's go meet up over there. Yeah. So
hey,
it's messed up.
Is there a greater than 10% chance in y'all's mind that he retires?
Yes, there's a greater than 10% chance. I want to say that his retirement chances are right at about like 20. I'll say like it's 80%.
I'd go higher. I think it's a 60-40 situation. 40% he could retire.
That's where I'm at. That's what I've been calling. I've been saying he'll retire for the cause.
80% he'll play at some point, either because Justin is going to be correct in that he gets dealt to a place that has lesser restrictions,
and
or
Simmons.
Or the NBA, maybe they loosen up their protocols once the fear around COVID, or we get COVID more under wraps as a country and as a whole. Maybe things get loosened up a little bit. And Kyrie's still a little young-ish. So
I don't think that they loosen it up closer to the playoffs, though. I don't think.
No. For this year, I think if he would have come back this year,
I think it's a higher percentage, Roland, and the reason why is because I believe in Kyrie's mind, he believes he's some sort of martyr for his cause, and he's a hero for standing up to the NBA. I think that he's really at that point, and that's why I think it's a 40% chance he could retire and walk away.
Now that Ron's out of here, we can talk about it, but he's on his Kaepernick shit right now, bro.
Yeah.
In his mind.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they equate on whatever they're fighting for, but in his mind, he's on his Kaepernick shit.
He's on his Dr. King, he thinks, at least, that he's at that level.
I mean, honestly, I would be a lot more, and I love Kyrie as a fan. I have issues. That's much. We've talked about that a couple times on this podcast. But just after hearing his interviews the past year and a half, ever since a lot of this has happened, since he's really gone over to Brooklyn, I'll say he's just really turned me off. And I don't really want to get into the specifics, but
ever since he was saging the court.
Yeah, he's just turned me off. He just strikes me as a guy that thinks that he's smarter than everybody else. And maybe he's a smart guy, but I heard somebody say the other day, he sounds like a freshman in his philosophy class when he talks sometimes. He just talks in circles. And I logged on for his live because I'm a fan of his, that Instagram live where he was going to break it all down. And he talked in circles for like 30 minutes, and I logged off after a little bit. So, yeah, he's just turned me off a little bit. I hope he comes back because he's a good player, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him this year, at least with the Nets, unless it's the playoffs.
There's no way they don't deal him before he.
What I want to say is, like, if you're KD, are you pissed off at him at this point?
Hell yeah.
Nah.
Hell yeah.
That's your boy.
No.
You're not mad. KD.
You have to be.
Nah, KD. You know KD too, though, bro. KD's kind.
KD's cool as a cucumber. He's not.
He's kind of on that same wave. Just maybe that he's just down for the vaccine, but he's like, "Hey, do your thing, cuz me and the beard, We're gonna hold it down as long as we can. You know what I mean? But we might have to deal you for Ben Simmons in January.
Ever since KD and Kyrie joined, it was this whole thing. KD versus Bron, we're going to get that at some point for the championship. And it's starting to look like we may never get that, just the way we never got LeBron and Kobe. Nike putting out those commercials with Cousin Chris or whatever. Do you don't remember that? Back in the day, we were hoping to see Kobe and LeBron. Now it's LeBron KD, and we may never see it in the finals.
We've seen it. The Warriors.
I'm saying since the join of the Nets. I prefaced that comment by saying that.
Okay. Touchdown. Pat.
Is that it for the NBA? Do you guys want to talk about anything else?
That's a wrap for NBA. It's a wrap for NFL. Guys, I don't know if we'll be here on Sunday.
What?
Ron is having a bachelor party Saturday night.
We will be here.
Ben's gonna be out of town. He'll be down in the valley.
And I'll be here. I'm gonna be out of town, and I'm taking my motherfucking mic with me, and I'll be here Sunday at 10. To give my fucking start of the week in fantasy football, and that's been scoring a touchdown a week, baby. Touchdown a week. And Sunday's
will
also.
You be here Sunday?
Yeah, I think I'll be able to make it.
Yeah, hey, at least for 30 minutes. Sunday's also my brother Leo's birthday, so we're gonna brunch right after the podcast. I planned on being on from 10 to 11. His brunch starts at 11, and then getting into some football down there in the valley. So let's get on, answer some questions. The fantasy football advice on Sunday mornings is crucial. Doesn't have to be an hour long, but we got to get on for a bit.
You heard it here. We'll be here Sunday. I don't know if Ron will be because he is the Bachelor of Honor that night.
Ron might not be here. Yeah.
You can see us Sunday, and then again Thursday. We probably won't be recording. It will be Thanksgiving. We'll probably take a bye week for Thanksgiving. So we'll see you Sunday, fellas.
All right.
It's a wrap for us.
Peace.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.